Hi there, welcome to another episode of Fearless and Free TV. Today I have a message coming in from Yeshua. He does come in when there's something really important to teach that is in relation to love and freedom, of course. Spiritual freedom was his thing. And if you haven't seen some of my other videos and you're wondering who Yeshua is the correct name for the individual we have known as Jesus. He also is known as the Christed One. And this message came to me on just a couple of days ago. It was on 9/14, and today is 9/20 of 2020. And the reason this message came in is because I wanted to know how to navigate greed. I really wanted to know how to purge greed from our existence, because I had a friend who was trying to untangle herself from a relationship that she had come to recognize was based in greed and control. Now, greed and control are one of the energies on our planet right now that is incredibly hurtful, and it's preventing us from moving forward. So I wanted to know, how do we untangle ourselves from these relationships that are based in greed and control? Now, in the case of this particular individual, it was a personal relationship, personal business relationship. But this issue is existing all over the entire planet, and all of the relationships that we're presently dealing with. The energy that's controlling the planet as a whole is based in greed. And so how do we disconnect from these greed-based relationships and the control that they are trying to hold over us? And so I tuned in and asked Yeshua what his response is to how to untangle ourselves from these relationships based in greed and control. So I'm going to go ahead and read his message to you. Good morning, dear one. This is Yeshua, the Christed One, the Prince of Peace and Master Teacher for planet Earth. You ask how to dismantle and unbind greed from the earth. The way is through love and gratitude. As I taught in my earthly domain, love your enemies and pray for those who spitefully use you. Yes, these are hard words to swallow for those who only see through the eyes of suffering and resentment. And yet, love is the only way to dismantle the stronghold on the heart and spirit of those affected. I would have said men in another time, but the world is so much more expansive than it was in my physical form. Yes, the word men was meant to mean all, but it was construed to mean only men, leaving the rest as less than in the human experience. And so now, as I teach, I use more expansive, all-inclusive language to ensure everyone understands that they are in no way separated from the teaching. Now, back to dismantling of greed and greed-based constructs. Love them. See them as children also navigating the complex earth field and human experience. And yes, gratitude. Gratitude for the experience, the lessons learned, the advances made, all of it. Without gratitude, the relationship cannot be fully discharged. Without gratitude, there is still a charge associated to the relationship and to those who cannot see past their own fear. That is all greed is, fear in the belief of lack. Fear that drives the win-lose, give-take philosophy. They cannot see what they cannot see and do not know what they do not know. Yes, gratitude, for without them, there are many lessons that would not have been learned and many experiences that would not have been had. The contrast is necessary to experience the wholeness, and freedom would not be as valued without the experience of entanglement with control. Love them through the process of freeing yourself from the stronghold of fear and greed. See them as the children they are, navigating the earth playground. Be grateful for the shadows that make the light so warm and delightful. One can only stay in the shadows for so long before light wakes them up and shines its warmth upon them. This love, light, and gratitude can melt even the coldest and darkest hearts. Hold them in the hope that their hearts are healed. Send them love that light will guide their way home to the true nature of love within themselves. Pray for them that they will see the error of their ways, their own shadows and issues needing resolve. This is how you love your enemies and pray for those who spitefully use you. Use the love, light, and gratitude in your own heart to melt the darkness around theirs. That is how the entire world will be transformed without having to lift a single weapon. Words and thoughts of hate and judgment only lower your vibration and feed more darkness into the field. Hold the light. Be the light. Hold the love. Be the love. Hold the gratitude and be the gratitude. In that holding and beholding, all those who see themselves as above the rest will be dismantled as icy hearts are melted into nothing more than hearts wanting to be loved. Love in its purest form is the only thing that will dismantle greed and free humanity from its stronghold. So be it. So that was a beautiful message that came in from Yeshua about love and how love is the only thing that can dismantle greed from our planet experience. Love and gratitude are the only thing that's going to unbind us in this conscious uncoupling from relationships, from relationships with others, from relationships with our communities and our governments, and from the relationship with the darkness that's been pervasive on our planet. Love is the only thing that's going to consciously uncouple us. And gratitude, of course, is one of the energies of love. And so love, light, and gratitude, that trio is what is going to liberate humanity from the matrix of fear that we're presently in. And so also what I was seeing during this teaching that came in from Yeshua is the importance of learning to be grateful for even the most painful experiences of our past and be grateful for the lessons that were learned. And remember that we chose as souls to come to planet Earth as a learning planet. And I was told years ago that this would be a learning planet until our collective of souls decided for it to be a place of peace, which is what we're presently moving into. That's what the ascension is all about, is moving out of this present fear-based reality and into a reality that's based in love. Well, in order to do that, we need to be able to discharge any kind of charges, anger, and againstness that we have toward our present reality and even the past story, the past human story, which, I mean, ultimately our entire his story are just stories that we've made up about our past. So in order for us to move into this ascended reality that we're all moving toward, we have to first learn how to love the story. We need to learn how to be grateful for all of it, even the most painful parts of it. And we need to learn how to be able to discharge any kind of emotional charges that we have toward it. Because as long as we're holding any of it, any aspect of ourselves individually and collectively to any aspect, that anger and resentment is actually blocking our own ability to ascend. So we need to find a way through love and through light and through gratitude to discharge any of the emotional charges that we have against our experiences. And a way to do that is through gratitude. So as we're looking at all of these past relationships that have brought us pain and suffering, the way to do that is to look at the experience and be grateful for the learning lesson that comes out of it. Because once we've learned the lesson from that experience, we no longer have to repeat that experience. And as we look back through history, we've seen, you know, history repeats itself. We keep learning the same lessons over and over and over and over again. It's because we haven't actually learned the lesson. So through gratitude, we can go back and look at these experiences, look at the relationships that did serve us at the time, even though we might not believe they did. Remember, they served us as learning experiences. So if we can look at the experience and be grateful for the experience and extract the lesson from it, then we can move past it and no longer need to have that experience again. And we're able to let go of the relationships with grace and with ease and with love and with light, and no longer be attached to those relationships again. That's, again, individually as well as collectively, let go of those relationships. Another thing that Spirit was explaining to me a couple of months ago is to let go of the word release. Now, so many of us have that as part of our spiritual practice, to cleanse and clear and release and let go. And I was told a couple of months ago to no longer use the word release, because that means to lease again. And then we wonder why we keep having to learn the same lessons over and over again. Well, it's because we're releasing that same experience over and over again. And I was told very clearly to let go of the word release. So when we're doing our clearing practices and we are dismantling and we are uncoupling from our relationships, I've been told to remove the word release and replace it with purge and discharge. So that way we cleanse, clear, purge, and discharge any association to the experience. And by discharge, it means to no longer have an emotional charge to it. Then we can transmute it into its highest potential and surrender it to love, surrender it to light, surrender it to God to be used however the light needs to use it. But we are no longer attached. We no longer have a charge of any kind attached to this experience. That's how we're able to learn through it and let it go with grace and with ease. So that, I wanted to share that with you. It's been a hugely helpful in my own life in letting go of some relationships and some attachments that I had to other people's experiences, and allow them to follow their own path as they need to, and allow myself to follow my own path as I need to, without the emotional entanglements. The key to all of it is love and gratitude. Love and gratitude, love and gratitude. Love to them and gratitude for the learning experience they've brought onto our lives. So that is it for now, and I will see you next time. Mwah.